Field G's. Welcome back to Lukegsfieldreview. We are back at it with another video, dropping some good old content for you. Let me first start off by saying that this video is not a video rebuttal. It's not a video that should be used for beef or anything like that. This is a video to inform the misinformed and to educate the individuals who may not understand how to interpret data. Now, I got a problem with Pro Football Focus, and I got a problem with Pro Football Focus's grading scale. Okay, the problems that I have is going to be outlined throughout this video, and I'm also going to take time to address some of the people who blindly follow people. One of the reasons that I always tell people to not be a chump and to please do their research is so you can, one, have your own view of it, to check me to make sure I'm being correct and not getting lazy in my job to give you information. And then two, to be more informed, so that way when somebody says something, you're not just, taking it at face value, because you can look foolish. Now, you may be wondering, what is this all about? Well, this is about the idea that Pro Football Focus will try to have people believe that Tavon Wilson is the 46th best safety in the NFL in 2018. Now, I know that there's this idea that there's this misinformation that gets put out there often, but I want to be able to clear it all up with fact-based evidence that not only you're going to be told, but you can see with your own eyes. And the reason for that is because when people say stuff, I want to make sure that the thing that they say, they can be held accountable for it. And that's what this is going to be about. This is going to be about Pro Football Focus using garbage approach to garner money. They don't care about anything but money. The formula doesn't have to make sense. The logic doesn't have to make sense. And they're going to prove that. But I'm going to show you in this video why Pro Football Focus grading scale is a joke, and why those who use it are an even bigger joke. So let's first take a look at how they grade.
Welcome to PFF Player Grades. During the football season, our team of 300-plus staff spends around 20,000 man-hours to grade and analyze every play of the NFL season.
Now, I want y'all to hold on to that word right there. They said that they grade every play. I'm going to repeat that again. I know it's some hard of hearing people out here. Really, it's only 3 and 1 leading, the charge for the 3. But I know there's some hard of hearing. They grade every play. That means every snap that a player takes, right? I mean, that's a logical thinking person, but okay.
On every play, a PFF analyst grades each player on a scale of -2 to +2, according to what they did on the play. At one end of the scale...
Now, again, they give them -2 or +2, depending on what they did on the play. -2 or +2, depending on what they did on the play. And here's what my first problem with Pro Football Focus is. If you're giving them a plus or -2 for what they did on the play, why are you not including what they did on the play? You see what I'm saying? Like if a running back breaks a 80-yard run, why is that not added into the equation? Why is that not a part of the process? When a receiver catches a 10-yard pass and goes 80 yards, why is the 80 yards not included into it? You're just gonna say, oh, that's a good play, +2. Now, some people are going to say, well, statistically, you want to try to keep it even and balanced by giving it variables that you can keep track of. But here's the problem in doing that. You're missing all this other information that goes into it. And then a person like me who wants to see all the information used, which is the problem that I'm having, does not see it. But then you turn around and you get these fanboys who act like Pro Football Focus is the end-all be-all holy grail Bible of football. And the sad part is it's not. And I'm going to go deeper into it, but let's listen.
You have catastrophic game-ending interceptions, and at the other end, a perfect deep bomb into a tight window in a critical game situation. The middle of that scale, where most grades reside, are zero-graded or expected plays that are neither positive nor negative. All areas of the game are taken into account to make up a player's overall grade. Pass rush, run defense, coverage, they all combine to make the overall total that we get for a defender.
Now, I want you to understand that. They said that's all combined to make a total, shot on it. But as I'm going to show you, that's not true. It's just simply not true. And this is why people need to do their research. This is why people need to be able to be more informed. One of the main reasons why I tell people to please do their research is for you to check me. Okay? In other words, if I'm wrong, go do your own research and tell me if I'm wrong. The problem is I've already did the research for you, so when you go and look at it, you will know that I'm not just giving you smoke. That's the first thing. The second reason I tell you to do your own research is because you should never depend solely on a person. You should independently always do your research. I mean, what if I were to tell you to go out and buy a car and the car didn't have an engine, but I'm telling you it's a great car? But if you don't know how to fix engines, you don't know how or who or where it starts or the cost of the engine, why would you buy the car? And it may not be a good buy for you, but keep in mind they're claiming they put this all together.
So what do you get with player grades? You get player grades by position, snap counts, player grades for each season of a player's career, and team matchup charts.
So as you can see, they've given you their formula to how they come up with player grades. Okay. Well, again, let's take a look at the first part. The idea is to grade performance versus production. And I like the idea of grading performance versus production. It's how they go about doing it that I feel gives these inaccurate representations that people don't want to talk about. So one of the things that I want to do is read what they say is their grading scale for performance versus production. It says, we are not grading players based on the yardage they racked up or the stats that they collect. Now, I want y'all to think about that for a minute, because I just made that example earlier that says, hey, if you're going to just assign a -2 or a 2, why not, include those other numbers? I mean, how do you assign the -1 or the -2 or whatever? And at this point, it all becomes subjective based on whoever they get to do it. Now, here's another issue I have with Pro Football Focus. You, right now, can go and apply and get a job to work for Pro Football Focus. And I promise you, you will be hired on spot. They are looking for people who just want to sit there and watch the games and grade it. And that's a problem for me. How can you be a legit process when you have a still fan bias implemented in? And then they say, well, the safeguards is to have it go through former coaches and players. But let's be honest, if I'm a former coach and player and you're going to pay me just to tell you, oh, what do you think about what we did here? All I'm going to do is go, oh yeah, that's good, that's great, and get that check. Again, there's a flaw in the system, but they're not even using statistics. Now here's a good point that they make. Statistics can be indicative of performance, but do not tell the whole story and often can lie badly. I totally agree with that statement. They do not tell the whole story, and they can lie sometimes, But I think it was Jay-Z that said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And that's just the truth. Numbers don't. And what they say, it says quarterbacks can throw the ball straight to defenders, but if the ball is dropped, you won't see that on the stat sheet. Right, because nothing happened. So if you want to apply a -2 for that, cool. But how do you apply a numerical number for something that did not happen? I mean, just as well as that. So now the question becomes, you're penalizing a person for what did not happen. It's like, oh, well, he threw it straight to, but he didn't catch it. So does the person who didn't catch it get a negative number? Did the person who threw it get a negative number? There's so many things that doesn't make sense about this. And then it goes on to say, Conversely, they can dump the ball off on a sequence of screen passes and end up with a gaudily looking stat line if those skilled position players do enough work after the catch. PFF grades the play, not its result. How do you grade the play? This is a contention for a lot of the people that have a problem with the PFF. How do you grade the play? Now, according to you, you do it by snap counts. You do it by grading the play. That means that each snap that's taken, that player's in, you're grading that play, right? So now you're going to start to see where I'm finna get frustrated with this idea that Pro Football Focus know what they're doing. Again, this ain't a video about nobody else. It's just to show people who don't know how to use logic or who don't know how to do research. And I realized when I ask people to do research that not everyone might know how to do research. This is where I like to do things, and I say Google is your friend, okay? Google is truly your friend. But this is where I don't need to have a lot of things. I'm just going to show you how flawed this system is. Now, it says, so if the quarterback that throws the ball to the defender will be downgraded, whether the defender catches the ball or not. That's literally like penalizing me for like saying like, hey, you know, you swerved and almost hit a pole. I'm giving you a ticket, but I didn't hit the pole. Or that's like saying you thought about stealing, but you didn't steal, so you're going to jail. But I didn't steal, so nothing was committed. But okay, forget all that. It then goes on to say, you know, it says whether the defender catches the ball or not, the interception on the stat sheet or not, no amount of broken tackles and no yards after the catch from a bubble screen will earn a quarterback a better grade, even though his passing stats may be getting padded. And so here's where my problem come in at. Let's look at Tavon Wilson, people. Tavon Wilson, and mind you, I got people want to tell me about people being graded the 46th best safety in the NFL in 2018. That's the part that I don't like when people give you misinformation. In 2018, Tavon Wilson was graded the 46th best safety. And I want you to look right here because that's 2018 right there. As you can see, there go there. He played in 15 games, started 3. So you may be saying to yourself, well, 15 games, started 3. What does that mean? Okay, well, let's talk about it. This right here, people, is a breakdown of the snap counts for Tavon Wilson as it pertains to offense, defense, and special teams. If you look right here, that's offense. He played no offense. There's no snap count for it, right? There's the number. That's the percentage. That's defense. That's the number of snaps that he took. That's the percentage. That's special teams. That's the number of snaps that he took. That's percentage. Now, two of the things I want to debunk here is this idea that he's this standout special teams person. Because even right here, you can see that the snap counts for this does not happen. Okay, it goes up over time, but the snaps that he get are limited. And mind you, Pro Football Focus does not equate those snap counts into the equation. They're simply focusing on the defensive snap counts. But my question is all of this is football, so why are you not including it? You know, why not? This is the problem I have with Pro Football Focus. So right here, as you can see, against the Jets, he started that game. He had 47 snaps that game, which was 78.3%. And I made a statement about Tavon Wilson that, hey, man, this dude just wasn't good, and he lost his starting spot, which brings me to another point. You know, I have people who have this issue with the idea of a tick, but a tick is exactly what it is. And to me, here's a guy that's been here for all the bit of 3 years. So he's been here for 3 years, and I kept trying to figure out how are they grading this. And they went by snap counts, they went by plays. This is what Pro Football Focus told us, that they're going by snap counts and they're going by plays. And I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, he got 1 sack, he had 3 starts in 15 games, he missed 1. He had a total tackle amount of 36 tackles and 2 tackles for a loss and 1 quarterback hit. Now here's where I get strange about, because if we're going to talk about that, I was told that, you know, he was graded higher than any player on the Detroit Lions. And as you can see right here, we know that at the very least, Tavon Wilson has at least 36 combined tackles, and he has at least 2 tackles for a loss, 1 quarterback hit. And so all these little things are puzzling me. And you may be saying to yourself, well, why is this puzzling you, Luke? Well, here's why this is puzzling me. Because I have come to conclusions that some people just don't get logic when it comes to understanding information as an entirety. So when I was told that he was rated higher than any Lion, I said, oh, really? Let me do my research, because I think it's hilarious to think that this guy's the 46th best safety. But let me ask you a question. How does a guy who only had 36 total tackles, 36 total tackles for 2018 be rated higher than the guy who had 16 games that he played in and 16 games that he started, aka Quandre Diggs? How does this guy get rated higher than a guy who was a starter? Why does Pro Football Focus not get on the bandwagon to give points for people who actually start in longevity? I mean, you're clearly going to do the play, right? But if that's not enough, we'll go back to some more reality as it pertains to the snap counts, all right? And the scary part about this is when you look at the snap counts in and of itself, it shows you even more proof that this is a flawed system. So here is a guy in Quandre Diggs who has 8 pass deflects, who has 3 interceptions, has 1 touchdown, 78 combined tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, a quarterback hit, but Tavon Wilson is better than him? Interesting. Okay, let's go down to the next person. Here's Glover Quinn, right? And I find this funny too, because even Glover Quinn, who's played in 16 games, has had 16 starts, had 3 pass deflects, had a sack, had 74 combined total tackles, which is still more than the 36 that this guy got. Okay, got 1 tackle for a loss and 2 quarterback hits. How was he rated higher than him? But they're rating the play though, right? Okay, well, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into it. But then let's go down to Jamal Agnew. Now, Jamal Agnew, right here, this is the most important thing. I love when people say stuff to me like, oh, yeah, he was rated higher. How hard is it for you to be rated higher than the guy who played 6 games? And here's the worst part about it. His value came on special teams. This 7 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and he was hurt the rest of the time. So, yeah, it's no shocker he was there, but to be rated higher than a guy who's only in his sophomore year, that's not impressive. Let's go and look at Andrew Adams, because these are the things that I'm being told in terms of this logic. So Andrew Adams in 2018 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this is where I got real perplexed when it came to Pro Football Focus, people. And I want to show you what I mean. How was he rated? Okay, how was Tavon Wilson rated higher than Andrew Adams, who we just picked up, who has literally played in 13 games and started 4. And out of that, he had 4 interceptions. Yep, I said it. 4 interceptions, 9 pass deflects, 38 combined tackles, 1 quarterback hit. So not only did he have 2 more tackles more, he had 4 interceptions and literally did it in less opportunities. So my question is to Pro Football Focus and those fanboys who want to fall in love with it is, how is that possible? Explain to me, how does that happen? I mean, they're grading the play, right? So if they're grading the play, when he got those interceptions, then he should have had a higher grade than him. Yet he doesn't. How is that possible? But if that's not enough to dispel this, and this is just me looking at the entire Lions roster. So he was graded higher than Justin Coleman, according to some people. All right. And Justin Coleman started 5 games, although he played in 16. had 1 interception, 10 pass deflects, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, a touchdown, 55 total tackles, 1 quarterback hit. How does he rate higher than that guy? In case you're not keeping up with what I'm doing here, I'm just dispelling opinions from facts. And I'm going to do this because I think that it should be seen. Let me just go on down to the next person. I'm trying to make this quick. So he's rated higher than Tracy Walker. Tracy Walker right here. He started 0 games, played in 16, had 1 interception, 21 total tackles. So he has 21 total tackles, and we're getting excited that he's rated higher than this guy. But here's the problem. This guy, Tracy Walker, took his spot. Okay? But he's the 46th best safety. Okay? The 46th best safety. Then we talk about Teez Tabor. This gonna blow y'all mind right here. Y'all gonna enjoy this. Played in 12 games, started 4. Okay? 28 combined tackles. He literally had a small margin less than him. So he's rated higher than him, right? Yeah, another sophomore player. Okay, I mean, we're just going to talk about it. Rashawn Melvin, he's rated higher. This is what people are telling you. This is why I tell you to do your research. I don't want you to ever just rely on what Luke G say. I want you to challenge yourself to challenge Luke G. Make sure I'm being held accountable, that I'm giving you information that's correct. But trust and believe that I am, because I'm going to make sure I do my research. So here's the thing. Oakland, he played for Oakland. He was supposed to be rated higher than him according to people. Played in 14 games, started 7, had 1 interception, okay? 56 total tackles and a tackle for a loss. How is he rated higher than him? The thing that you're noticing with this is everyone that they're claiming that they're rated higher than are statistically better, have had more snaps than these people. And some of them have had less and still have better statistics. But hold on. I'm just going to show you all of it. And it's just the Lions. This is Nevin Lawson. And I've said it before. Everybody's better than Nevin Lawson. But he played in 15 games. Started 14. All right. He had 1 sack, 53 total tackles, 3 tackles for a loss. Another statistical person that was better than Tavon Wilson. Yeah, he was rated higher than him. Let's talk about Miles Killebrew. Okay, Miles Killebrew, a guy who went from safety to linebacker, back to safety, back to linebacker on the special teams, and so forth and so on. Nonetheless, he didn't start no games. But we're supposed to be impressed by the idea that he's rated higher than him. 7 total tackles for a guy who didn't start no games. So I'm supposed to be impressed with this. But if that's not enough, let's talk about this right here. Let's go to Mike Ford, who played his first season, wasn't even drafted. 7 games, started 4, 25 total tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. And this is my thing. He's rated higher than him, but this guy did more work in less time. So how are they doing this rating system, right? How are they doing it? So make sure you stay tuned, because I got a part 2 coming, and I am just getting warmed up. You've clearly seen that the people that they're saying that he's rated higher than in terms of the Detroit Lions was either a rookie, a sophomore, or a special teams or backup guy. And when you look at him in comparisons to the starters, the statistics does not add up. Yet he was still rated higher than them. And I'm going to go deeper into this reality that says that you should be including longevity, which they're going to say that they do. You should be including the ability that they're starting. That should be a part of the equation. If a guy comes in as a backup, makes a play here and there, of course you're going to make it look inflated. But I'm going to dispel this belief that he's the 46th best linebacker in the league. So stay tuned. Part 2 coming. As always, don't be no chump. Please do your research.